DTF is one of the fastest growing technologies in our industry right now, and I'm getting questions from shops every week. Should I add it? There are claims that DTF printing is expected to outpace DTG printing growth by 20% this year in custom apparel, making it up about 65% of all DTF output. Hi, my name is Mike Goodwin, and I've been in the industry for 25 years. I've owned my own shop, I've worked on equipment distribution, and right now I'm watching direct-to-film printing move faster than almost anything else I've seen through the space since vehicle wraps. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what DTF is, why it's exploding, what it costs to get into 3 different levels, and most importantly, whether it's the right move for a shop like yours. I've also put together a full DTF equipment buying guide that goes deeper on every number in this video. The link's in the description below, so make sure you grab it before you decide on anything. Quick refresher for anyone new to this, DTF stands for direct to film. It means you print your design onto a special film instead of directly onto a garment like DTG. You apply an adhesive powder, cure it, then heat press and transfer on almost any fabric. No screens, no plates, no minimums. Fun fact, DTF uses roughly 40% less white ink than DTG and delivers about 30% higher throughput. Most of you are already creating stickers, banners, and signage. This is the same skill set. In some ways, you're already running an inkjet printer, but producing a complementary product to the same customer with the ability to make more margin. Here's why it's growing so fast. Independent market research puts the global direct-to-film printing market at roughly 2.9 to 3.1 billion by the end of this year. That demand is driven by shops and brands wanting fast, on-demand, full-color custom apparel without the screen printing setup cost and minimums. Here's the part that's specific to this industry. If you run a sign shop, you already have the customer. Every soccer team ordering banners has players who need shirts. Every business getting a storefront sign wants matching brand apparel for their employees. Every event client wants and needs both. Right now, when they ask you for shirts, you're either saying no, or you're sending that job and the customer to a screen printer down the street. Every time you do that, you're handing away revenue that you were perfectly positioned to keep and offering the convenience of one-stop shopping. A basic DTF setup has a genuinely small footprint compared to a full screen printing operation. No screens, no exposure unit, and no huge ink inventory by color. For a lot of shops, it's one of the most affordable ways to add a second revenue stream without renting more space. There are entry-level packages that you can get into for less than the ones I'm about to talk about. These packages are more aligned with hobbyists or someone printing shirts for friends and family, maybe a couple of shirts here and there. Let's talk about the starter set. It's typically $3,000 to $6,000, and you're looking at a small format DTF printer, basic heat press, and either a handshake powder cure setup or a compact curing oven. This tier is about testing the waters, running small batches for your existing customers before you commit further. The mid-range setup. That'll run you between $8,000 and $18,000. Mid-range gets you a wider, faster printer, a proper automatic powder shaker, and a curing unit, and a production-grade heat press. This is where most shops that are serious about DTF actually land. It's enough throughput to take on real volume without a huge crew. The Pro setup will set you back $25,000 to $60,000. The Pro tier is dedicated production. It's a high-speed printer, inline powder and curing systems, multiple presses, and sometimes a rotary attachment for sleeves and odd shapes. That's a real production department. I break down exactly what's in each tier, itemized with real equipment categories and price ranges in the free buying guide. Don't guess at it. Get the numbers first. Here's what the numbers look like. Let's take a basic 10 by 10 inch chest transfer. Film, ink, and powder cost you roughly $2 a piece, all in with typical material cost. Add a $3 to $4 blank t-shirt, and you're at about $5 to $6 in total material cost per shirt. Here's how the numbers typically break down for DTF per square foot of actual printed image. Ink. Coverage varies a lot with design density. White ink underbase is the big driver, but average consumption works out roughly to be 30 to 80 cents a square foot for a typical mixed coverage design. Heavy full coverage or all white underbase designs push toward the top of that range. Film. For standard DTF film rolls, they generally run 20 to 80 cents a square foot depending on the film grade or whether they're hot or cold peel. Powder, often bundled with the above two, but worth listing since it's a real per square foot cost. Adhesive powder adds roughly 5 to 15 cents a square foot. With ink, film, and powder, most shops land somewhere in the $1 to $2.50 a square foot range, depending on the design complexity, ink brand, and film quality. With a commonly cited all-in rule of thumb, around $1.20 to $2 a square foot. That does exclude labor, electricity, equipment wear and tear, print head replacement, and heat press time. T-shirt blanks. These are priced per shirt, and basic 100% cotton shirts run roughly $1.50 to $3.50 a shirt, depending on the volume. With bulk pricing, typically 500 plus units, you can land them for around $1.50 to $2 each. There are premium options available, like a Bella Plus Canvas 3001 or Next Level shirt that can run you $3 to $6 a piece. So a rough all-in cost for a 10x10 chest print on a basic cotton tee would be roughly $3 to $4.50 total, materials plus blank, before labor, electricity, and equipment overhead. Which is why a lot of pricing guides land on the $6 to $9 as a realistic true cost once labor and overhead get factored in, even though raw consumables alone look cheaper. On a small order, say a half a dozen pieces, shops are commonly quoting in the $30 to $35 per piece range once labor, machine time, and margin are built in. That's serious margin on a job you can turn same day with zero screen setup costs and no minimum order. The other number that matters is what you need to charge per hour to break even on the equipment and labor. Once you account for the printer, the press, your text time, shop overhead, a lot of shops land somewhere in the $60 to $70 per hour range as their true break-even rate. Something else to mention that's extremely important is that anytime you print with white ink, there will be more maintenance, and DTF is no exception. So plan accordingly when figuring out your overhead pricing that these printers need to be cleaned a couple of times a week, and it usually takes around 15 minutes each time. You should also check the nozzles every time you clean it to ensure your printer is always ready for production. All of this, the full cost breakdown, plus a plug in your own numbers pricing calculator is in the free guide. You should really consider adding DTF if your customers already ask you for apparel. Or you have the room in your shop, even 100 to 150 square foot works at the starter tier. If you want an even higher margins and quick turnaround time jobs alongside your sign and wide format work you're already producing, DTF is a real opportunity. My guide walks you through a full self-assessment checklist so you can see if adding DTF makes sense to your shop. Take advantage of an easy upsell to customers that you already do signs and graphics for. The design is done, you're already helping them promote their brand. Give your customers the convenience of that one-stop shop that will keep them coming back for future work. The bottom line is that DTF isn't a fad. It's one of the fastest growing print technologies in our industry, and for a lot of shops, it's sitting right on top of a customer base that's already asking for it. Remember, it's not automatic. Run the numbers, be honest about your space and your capacity, and make the decision the same way you'd make equipment decisions, on the math and not the hype. Check out the free DTF equipment buying guide I've put together over at graphicinsights.com. All three investment tiers, equipment specs, materials, a 90-day launch plan, and it ties directly into the pricing calculator so you can model your own numbers. The link is in the description below. If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing. I put out content every week for sign shops, wrap installers, and wide format shops looking to run a tighter, more profitable business. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.